Welcome to another vlog. I finally reached country number 57. So the country that I'm in right now is Kazakhstan. Funny story, I was actually here 2018 as part of Gumball Rally, and we were on a flight from Italy to Japan, and we had to stop in Kazakhstan to refuel. Ever since then I've always wanted to come back, and well, whilst the Porsche is getting ready back at home, hopefully for finally doing a couple of big trips this year, I thought, you know what, why not come down over here? It's meant to be a relaxed trip, but after doing my research there's so much to do. So yeah, for this vlog there's going to be lots of Soviet architecture, some car related stuff, some food and drink, horseback riding, some falcons, so it should be good. It was quite a journey getting here. Had to stop up in Istanbul, connecting flight, which wasn't too bad. It really makes you think how far behind London Heathrow is compared to the rest of the world, I guess. Istanbul, such a great airport. Caught the flight at like 1 a.m. their local time. Got here first thing this morning, no issues whatsoever in Kazakhstan. Checked into the hotel, which you can't see it now. So yeah, looking forward to this trip. It's a bit different, similar sort of vibes to what you would have seen when we were in Azerbaijan last year. So yeah, let's see how this trip pans out, but it's literally my first morning over here right now. Just spotted this random Audi Q7. He's got the bumpers removed from the back and front tow bar, got a winch on the front light, spare wheel on the back. It's got a crazy spec. It's yeah, the craziest Audi Q7 that I've seen for sure. I wonder if it's diesel or petrol. That's what I love about Kazakhstan. You've got a guy over there selling Soviet stuff, you've got a dog there, pigeons, a horse and a pony, got the cathedral, people taking pictures of pigeons over there, like they're never seen pigeons, and then there's an ice skating rink over here, a coffee shop. Like, there's so much going on here. It's all about the vibe and energy that you have. So after going to that cathedral, there was a guy at a coffee shop, and he stopped me. He's like, "Oh, English," and I was like, "How do you know?" And started talking. It's like this whole aura and everything that I have, and then he wanted a picture of me, and no one takes pictures of me back at home. But I'm about to go to a place called Green Bazaar. Don't really know what to think of this place. I've seen it online, and like it's a big shopping mall. I thought I've seen the pictures, like high ceiling kind of ex-Soviet kind of vibes. But the crazy thing about it, yeah, I remember seeing this picture, it's just like dead animals everywhere. So the national dish over here begins with B, I forgot the name of it, and it's horse meat. So yeah, that's the place there. So go and check it out. This is the famous Green Bazaar. All the spices, found shisha pipe, vegetables, everything, all under one roof. Good morning.
Good morning.
So this gentleman's hooked me up with a ride in a Lada Niva, and now we're just in the mountains. Yeah, you can say goodbye to your Range Rovers. This is a proper car. So it is bright and early. It's about 7 o'clock here in the morning. Massive shout out to Kazakh tour guides. They arranged for me to, well, they drove me up to a certain point, and then the mountain road is closed off to kind of like special tour people, and they got me a ride in a Lada Niva, and now we're just at Big Lake Almaty. So this is the furthest I can go down towards the lake, but the drive over here was quite incredible. It's not a long drive, but on the road coming down over here, there was an avalanche here about 2 days ago, and the road is icy. And as much as a Lada Niva is capable of doing these sort of drives, it was kind of all over the place. A lot of Soviet architecture over here. So speaking to the guide on the way here, a lot of things are still intact from the Soviet times, and it kind of made you realize how solid things were back then, whether, you know, whatever your views of, you know, everything, during the Soviet times. But it's the things were built to last. And obviously just talking about cars and stuff, like, you know, for example, the Lada Niva is a perfect example of how solid things were back then compared to, say, some of the new cars. Well, not only cars, but obviously like the infrastructure, and it's just everyone kind of got on with it. It's definitely dropped in temperature over here. Yeah, it's about -2 this morning, but the sun is rising, so hopefully it'll get warmer. But definitely a amazing experience, and that's the thing. So, you know, it's one thing which I saw when walking around yesterday is this country is definitely moving really quickly. There's a lot of new infrastructure, new buildings, cars, restaurants, bars, anything like that. And it just kind of makes you think that the UK, Europe, America, everyone else is catching up. But hey, that's enough about that. Let's enjoy the rest of this day. Soviet watchtower. This pipe has water running from the big lake, which takes it down into Almaty. And this is the icy road back down. I'm gonna go back down to the bottom there in my Soviet car. What a day. Crazy how quickly the weather can change. How you doing, Nikita?
I'm good.
Where are we?
I don't know.
So it's going to show me the metro station. Obviously, I'm a bit of a tourist. I've got my hat on, massive coat. So we stand out, and you got a bright orange jacket on as well. So we can't get lost, none of us. At the underground station, the metro here in Almaty, there's only one line, 11 stations, and although it's got a very Soviet kind of background, you find like even up there as well, there's a lot of references here to Moscow. Even this one, Mokva, which is Moscow in Russian. It's got the whole, apparently every station is different, but it was only up in like 2011, which kind of blows my mind. It's not bad for a metro station which has only been open for a decade, just over. So this is probably one of the most prettiest ones out of all of them. So this is probably one of the most beautiful stations. It's inspired by the Russian space station, or the ex-Soviet. And that's a common theme with all these stations. Like each station tells a story about, you know, the past, and although it has a very kind of Soviet-y vibe, it's actually very modern. So there's a nice twist. It's a beautiful evening here in Almaty. Got the famous Almaty Hotel here, and I'm going to wander into this park and show you around. It's trying to be a relaxed trip, so it's not going to be a long video. Great day out. Unfortunately, the weather changed dramatically really quickly, which basically meant that couldn't go horse riding today, so got to chill. I went to a Soviet spa, which was cool. It was only short, but I'm going to go back again. I'll report more on that. But yeah, I'm going to show you around this park and then go for a drive now. Finally got my car, but I'll show you more of that later on. This wonderful building here is the Almaty Opera House. Absolutely incredible. Soviet architecture at its greatest. This is my car here in Kazakhstan. Massive shout out to the guys for sorting this out for me in short notice. It's a 2020 Toyota Land Cruiser. After driving one of these when I was out in Baku in Azerbaijan last year, fell in love with it. Can't really get them in the UK, but I'm really starting to grow fond of these vehicles. Great car, white with black interior, Cadillac CTS over there. Yeah, there's some Soviet buildings, and that's it. It's my V8. Perfect car for Kazakhstan. So this is my car, and this is my ex-Soviet hotel, the Hotel Kazakhstan, the first hotel here in Kazakhstan, Almaty. 26 floors, top floor has a bar and restaurant, and just revamped the hotel literally very recently, only opened up the front. But yeah, it's a great hotel, literally park outside, everything's straightforward and simple. And I think everyone kind of panics and wonders, like, you know, how is it, you know, going to a different country, and, you know, can you do this, can you do that? And to be honest, it feels like being back at home. But yeah, let's get on with the day. Let's ride some horses. Yeah, put in the horse riding place, and it was about 30 odd minutes away from the hotel, and sat nav said turn off the motorway, and yeah, it will save 7 minutes. And what it didn't say, that it's a dirt track all the way there. So yeah, so I got chased by 3 dogs, and on these roads, very not great conditions. And I'm like, if another car comes the opposite way, I'm gonna be in a bit of trouble here. But not seen a single person on this road. I'm getting higher, and there's the mountains there, so yeah, hopefully in the right direction. Let's see. Hopefully the next part of the video will show me on a horse. So apparently it says it's about 5 kilometers that way, but that road just seems to get higher, tighter and sketchier. I'm not going to bother taking a risk. The car was just slipping all over the place. Beautiful view up here, gone very high really quick. Almaty's just literally, that direction. You've got the mountains. So I'll be honest, that was the sketchiest drive I've ever done. That road was getting tighter, worse, and because there's still ice up here, it's still early in the morning, so it's all frozen. And yeah, it was, I'm not going to risk it, even if it's 5 miles. It's yeah, but you know what, it really does make you think when you're going to do the trip around the world. I guess when it's your own car and it's, you know, it's not a rental, you know, it's less stressful. And obviously with the Porsche Cayenne, you don't mind, being beaten up. But sensors are going off like crazy on the car, and that road was, it's a bit disappointed. But I do actually see some horses in front of me, so I'm going to see. The thing is, there's no signal up here, so I can't even use Google Translate. And here it is pure Russian. And this is why I kind of listen. I wish I listened at school. But saying that, I'm going to show you this view now. That is a view. It's the best day we've had so far. Clear blue skies, you've got the mountains, you can see the snow on the top. And that there is Almaty. I think that there, there was my finger. That there I believe is a Ritz. I could see this view from my window, this tower, and I think that's a park over there. I'm trying to see if I can see my Hotel Kazakhstan, but I think it's still covered with fog. But you know what? Not how I expect my morning to go, but I'm not complaining on a beautiful morning like this. Absolutely not. You know what? Everyone always thinks that it's... I always think it's the worst when you go to certain places. So I've literally just turned up at this person, which I thought was a restaurant. It's actually their house. And he has a horse farm, so he just showed me around his horses. But he said because they were basically, the doctors had been dealing with them. So he was just like, I can't, like, they're not in the best condition, so I don't want any pictures and videos. But he spoke like Russian, the odd word. I spoke odd word, he spoke, and it just goes to show that, yeah, the world's a beautiful place, and even if you don't speak the language, and he can tell my passion for horses, even though I ate one for dinner last night. Yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, not how I thought the night will turn out, but I'm gonna go for breakfast at my hotel, and then from here I will, yeah, probably go for like a drive and go and check out all these Soviet buildings, because it's Sunday, so it's super quiet. Like, it's so random seeing this guy over here. I came across it just by chance. But he was like super happy, so it's nice. So I got to see some horses. There's a lot of stuff which I've done and seen on this trip which is not on this video, but you know what, it's kind of a bit of me time, so you know, I cannot complain. It is really, really good. But yeah, let's get back to the city and you know, get out these mountain roads. Just look at that. There's a BMW X6M there, of course, because you know, what other car would you need up here in the mountains? But yeah, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. This view is definitely worth it. It's been an interesting morning. Things didn't go to plan properly, but then I got to see an amazing view of Almaty this morning with a Land Cruiser in peace and quiet. So I found out here in Kazakhstan everyone uses 2 gears, 2 GIS I think it's spelled, but it's a Russian app and it's what they use here. Yandex is another one which I've used in Azerbaijan, and I know I've used it in Russia as well. But 2 gears is basically the best way to kind of navigate your way around here. But because it's a Russian app and I have the UK app store for Apple, it means it's actually blocked and I can't actually download it. So been speaking you know, with this company that arranges, you know, the horses, and yeah, no, they've told me. So I've basically showed them the version of Google Maps, and it's weird because like when I went this morning originally, it said that this route I'm taking now was 7 minutes longer, but when you actually drive it, it just drops, so it's only about 28 minutes. And it's actually quite a nice drive, like, you know, mountain roads, enough for 2 vehicles to kind of get past by each other. So yeah, hopefully I will actually do some horse riding today. And driving here, I've seen like loads of like old school Mercedes W140s, W124s. I saw a BMW E30 M3. Now I don't know if it's just got a kit, but it looked legit. He did have a Porsche Cayenne GTS, and that is a donkey. Random. Talk about modes of transport. So yeah, let's ride some horses. I've made it here to the horse riding school. There's a horse in the back in the stables, told to be very quiet. Looking forward to this. Finally made it here, and what a beautiful day for it. I'm riding a horse in Kazakhstan. So the weather is still beautiful here this morning, and well, it's now afternoon here. I've decided to come up to the ski resort. I don't think I'll go all the way up because over here you can only take electric cars to the top. This is a big V8, or you could take a cable car, but they look a bit sketchy. We'll see, but there's a nice restaurant that I have a reservation at, and it's one of the top 50 most creative restaurants. Yeah, you've got these people are cycling, like people take it very seriously over here. This is quite cool, the shot here. But yeah, gotta make the most of this, and basically just go with the flow. And I think that's the best thing. Like when you try and plan things, they never go to plan. Better things happen, and you just gotta trust the process. I probably won't do the Soviet car museum because it's about an hour and a half. And I've seen enough Soviet cars over here, so is it worth me going all the way to see it in the museum when I saw the same stuff when I was in Chisinau in Moldova? So yeah, that one's still a question mark, but it's going to make the most of the mountains of this beautiful weather today because I think it's only here for today. So yeah, that is the view. There's some mountains over there. We made it to the top. There's a restaurant called Isle. At the hotel there in reception, and that is the restaurant over there on the left hand side. Beautiful Kazakh BMW M5 there as well, and there is the snow globe. I've made it to the restaurant. It's absolutely incredible. Like the views, you've got to be here in person to really appreciate this. So you basically walk in, you take your shoes off, and then I'll show you around. And it's just, yeah, you sit on the floor, and it's got literally the best kind of corner table with like the sickest view, mountains. Like I can imagine just seeing the sunset here would be really cool. Let me show you it now. So you literally have like cushions and everything here, and that's the view over there, so you can see the mountains and everything. So where the ski resort is, so driving down I did actually see the ski resort. It looks so busy. I'm not gonna ski, I can't be bothered to go up, but I'm just gonna really enjoy and take in the atmosphere over here because I think it's just absolutely incredible. Actually I could just about see the cable cars there in the background, just going down. Hands down the best restaurant I've ever been to in my life. Got the mountains, those clear skies over there. That there is the highest ice rink in the world, I believe. Nadu ice rink. What a day to come out here. Welcome to Porsche Center Almaty. I could think of worse places to have a charging center. That view is incredible. What a lovely place, and a lovely selection of cars. Massive fan of this GT4, but that GT3 Touring is absolutely stunning. And a massive thank you to Porsche Center in Almaty for showing me around, for the hospitality over here. A few of the guys have previously been here over the years. Recently there's a bunch of guys that drove their Porsches from Thailand to Stuttgart, and they did actually stop off over here. I actually saw one of these on the road today. It wasn't a convertible, it was a coupe. But it's given me motivation, but I think it's just quite difficult now because whilst looking at the plan, a lot of people do actually want to, the only way around is go through Russia or through Iran. As far as Porsche experience centres go, this has got to be one of the better ones that I've seen. They've got a simulator over here, GT4 outside, GT3 Touring. Bunch of electric cars, quite a cool shop. So I think for anyone back in the UK, they always kind of think that these parts of the world don't have these cars. They actually do. Just that highly spec GT3 RS over there is a perfect example of cars that are over here. But yeah, planning my trip, which is obviously on delay, But this can be a bit of motivation to start planning and preparing. But how to get around Russia at the moment, I have no idea. But I know that hopefully the kind will get as far as Kazakhstan, and I know these guys will definitely be here to welcome us. There's some really cool model cars here. London to Sydney Marathon, just over here. This building over here is the circus here in Almaty in Kazakhstan. It still has a very Soviet vibe. That piece over there, you can see the buildings around here. I'm not too sure what Cherry is, but they've got massive Cherry branding on top of that building there. And that there is the theatre where I was just not long ago. That's currently under construction, but it looks really nice and grand. It's somewhere I would love to visit, but 4 days here is not enough. You need at least 5 or 6 days and maybe some chill time. This here is the Dynamo Stadium. Very similar to the one that I saw when I was in Chisinau last year. But you can just about see. It's the final day. It's been quite a chilled and relaxing day. Gonna go to Arasan, which is the old Soviet spa. I keep on putting it off, but I thought there's no better way to finish off this trip. The car gets picked up at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, that will go. And yeah, just put on my final sticker over here. Made in Kazakhstan, had to be done. And just show you the view. So lucky that yesterday I was able to go up to the mountains, clear blue skies, went off-roading, that visited Aul, that restaurant. Looking at the day today, it was quite perfect, to go and start exploring the, Soviet, Soviet buildings. So, but yeah, unfortunately, all good things do come to an end. It's been a trip of a lifetime, a country that I've always wanted to visit for a very, very long time. And I'm very glad that I was able to do it. It was a close call between here and Tashkent, Uzbekistan, so that could possibly be next. But it just goes, goes to show that, one thing which I keep on saying, obviously born and raised in the UK, love it, it's great, traveled all over Europe, America, Japan, Russia, you name it. I've done a fair bit, and now it's trying to step into the unknown, and and I think it's just the thought of it. I know coming on this trip, a lot of people say, are you sure you want to go there? Why would you go there? What's it going to be like? The weather was fairly decent for this time of year. The day that we had yesterday felt like a typical, well, probably a better day than the UK, because this is what it will look like in the UK at the moment, or when I left. Been able to hire a car, straightforward, simple. They pick up the car from a hotel, they drop it off at the hotel. Went to the petrol station yesterday, no issues. Obviously, you still got to remember that Russian and Kazakh, so their own local language are the main languages here, so there is a bit of a a language barrier. But Google Translate's helped me out when I got stopped by the police on the first night. Used it, and I knew that I was at fault for making a wrong turn, and these things happen. Obviously, most of the road signs here are actually written in Russian. So he pulled me over, explained, and and there's amazing, kind, hospitable people. Like, even when he came up to me, he bowed, he shook my hand, when we met and when he left. I think they just want foreigners to kind of come over here and not think of it as a bad place, and just kind of explore it. And I felt safe walking out late at night. I went to this bar called the Yellow Door, and basically the only way to get there and to get the location is by messaging with Instagram, and it's kind of like a very low key, and it's the first bar in Central Asia I went in there, was listening to Frank Sinatra, had a Negroni, probably one of the best Negronis I've had in a long time. And that's it. So, you know, my advice is if you want to come hit me up, let me know. Luckily I've had a couple of friends that were able to help me out along the way. But generally it's been, you know, being here solo, it's been a great trip. I really enjoyed it. The only bad thing about it is that I've got to go back home tomorrow. I kind of wish I had another day. I got a message from Connor, Mr. Campagini, big shout out to you. He's literally in Kazakhstan, which is like the country next to us right now. But unfortunately with, you know, car rentals, I can't take it over. You know, there are some restrictions. I'm not saying everything over here is perfect. There are some restrictions. So, you know, you can't take the car, or if you want to take it out of Almaty, you know, you've got to let them know, and then you get charged extra. Like, it's a bit more kind of stricter, you know, what you can and can't do. So obviously when I bring my car, you know, and I drive it over here, it'll be a lot easier, a lot simple. But navigating around is, you know, just like any other city, you know, getting stuck in traffic, just like any other city. But it's safe, it's clean. Another thing which I noticed yesterday is, like, even when I was driving up to the mountains, you've got people just sweeping the side of the roads, just making sure everything's, you know, immaculate. I'm saying that there's a park at the bottom of the hotel, and you know, you can see there, but that person was just cleaning up over there. So overall, great place. Come and visit it. Spend time here. Go to neighbouring countries. You've got Tajikistan, you've got Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan's not too far away, and explore this part of the world because it's beautiful. It really is a hidden gem. They've got everything to offer. You know, you can literally go out when, you know, you want a KFC or a Burger King, or Costa coffee. You know, I saw a spa yesterday as well. It kind of blew my mind. You can do that. You want to go to a nice fancy restaurant, so I'm going to head to the Ritz Hotel later on, and they have a rooftop bar and restaurant. You know, you can do that, and they literally cater for everything. You know, and you know, and everyone, and yeah, I've had more fun here than, you know, some other places I've been to in Europe. So, you know, that kind of says it all. I've got nothing bad to say about this place, all the people. It's the final night here in Almaty, and the only thing that I hadn't done was come to Arasan Spa. This place is one of the last standing Soviet spas in the world. It doesn't look that well, no. It does look quite big on the outside. Inside they've got everything: steam room, sauna, spa. Absolutely incredible. Better than expected. Probably one of the best experiences I had. Everything's really not really been touched since the Soviet times. Everything goes as it would have done back then, and on top of that, it was just it was a great experience. Well, reception, they spoke English there, and there's one guy that I met inside who spoke English who worked here, but everyone else is pure Russian or Kazakh. Didn't really feel intimidating, but I see why this part of the world has had some of the best fighters in the world, because yeah, there was a lot of big guys in there, but it was cool, it was chilled, it was relaxed, like the best meditation, probably the best way to finish off this trip. If you're ever in Almaty, that place there, Arasan Spa, and it's a great location as well. I walked past it on my first day, but didn't realise. Walking back to the hotel from this spa, there's no one in that park. Feels very safe, very cold. Cathedral looks absolutely incredible, and the ice skating rink is still open. It's really hard not to fall in love with this incredible country and this beautiful city. Everyone's really nice, even though there's a bit of language barrier at the spa. You don't feel out of place at all. This is so cool. It's about midday here. What should have been my final day in Almaty. I should be landing in Istanbul at any time now. Last night after the spa, I got talking I don't want to ruin this video, but you'll probably figure it out. So we had, like, you know, quite a intense discussion, a little bit convincing, and I started looking at flights and like logistics. So flying to country number 58, which is Kyrgyzstan, is so you can't take a train there. Obviously I don't have my car. Taking a rental car is difficult, taking it around here, so taking it to Kyrgyzstan as a rental is impossible. Then the other question is, how do I get the car back? Had a look at flights. Considering that I was meant to be up at 4 a.m, I didn't sleep till 4 a.m, just kind of planning everything. Luckily there's one flight that goes from Almaty to Bishkek airport, so I should arrive there around 7 p.m. I booked a return flight for 3 days from now, so I have like a couple of days to have a bit of a road trip, tick off this country. Like I said, got a really cool surprise coming up, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And so this is the first bit of the next vlog, so yeah, the next one. And yeah, let's see what happens next. So the last couple of hours here in Almaty, everything's totally changed. It's even started snowing this morning, and there was a bit last night, and it seems to have cleared, but it's back again. A really nice G-Wagon and Land Cruiser over there convoying together. But yeah, when I left home, I didn't plan on coming more than the amount of days. And obviously when you start packing your suitcase, by the time you put your G-lays in and your big coat, the suitcase fills up really, really quick. So considering I've extended my stay, I've had to pop out to the shop and buy some spares. So t-shirts, underwear, socks, basic stuff. And yeah, let the adventure begin.